Hello everyone, this is part number 5 of our Trozan Sky Shard Druid. In general, this is a CDR caster, cooldown reduction. For the moment, resistance is pretty good. Gear is okay, not amazing. We need definitely better stuff here and there.
I'll give you a good price of what I've got left. Put it to good use. See anything you like.
I'm gonna sell some stuff before I proceed forward.
Iron well spent.
And now we can move forward. Today our plan is to finish the vanilla game, stop the Loghoren summoning. I'm gonna pop up my Dead's Vigil potion for more damage. My sustain is kinda okay. These guys, they use mirror. I'm not gonna bother with him. It's a waste of time. Sitting there spamming skills. This area is kinda rough, cause most of these mobs, they are very cold resistant. And I still don't have a huge reliable... I don't have reliable source of resistant shred at the moment. After a couple of devotion points I'm gonna get this in the next two. I'm gonna check for the hero, he's here. I'm gonna nullify him, cause he's a very cold resistant. This experience to Dead's Vigil, and I'm for their shoulder guards is gonna buff my Trozan damage. That's why I'm gonna kill a little bit more ethereals. And definitely the quest line is gonna net me respected with them. So I can swap some gear pieces. And probably that's gonna be my setup till the end of normal. Usually 35's faction gear is totally enough to finish normal. It's slightly different if you are toe-to-toe build like melee. You need a little bit extra armor and sustain. But I'm basically a kiting class. I don't go in melee too often. Just Wind Devils force me to be the mid-range, so they can start hit stuff. We still got some energy issues. Especially if I spam my right click. but that helps me clear the trash, not wasting a cooldown for some white mobs and stuff. We have to take care of the Beastmail Guardian. He is the easiest of all three. I'm gonna nullify. Less elemental damage from him, which gonna make the battle much more smoother instead of being afraid of his elemental attacks. When you play Arcanist, as I repeat myself several times, try to master your nullification usage. Pay attention to the mobs, heroes, bosses, and use it wisely. That's why I use it here as an opener, because I know he's gonna open with Lightning Ray attack. That's gonna be channeling through myself. And that's what makes difference, usually. Mastering of Mirror of Eroctis and Nullification is what makes Arcanist good and separate him from the bad Arcanist users. And trust me, there is a tons of bad ones in the Grimdown community. I have several arguments as well about Nullification. People genuinely don't know how to use it properly. Some of them even doesn't have any clue that nullification can basically debuff yourself. They use it only for offensive reasons. But nullification can even remove Sunders and Sunder mechanics, and some of the Sunder's mechanics is pretty broken with high percentage of damage increase. For example, Gargabo, he had a very huge percentage of his Sunder. This is easy totem usually. Just be sure you avoid boulders from the shamblers, these big rock stones that they usually throw. This is the only thing that can put you basically in a bad spot. And we are still not very tanky, but I want to focus on my damage first before I start maxing out sustain skills. Because on a burst classes like this one is very important to have a huge big hitter instead of some poking skills that deals. I want every time that I place my Trozan to be one shot or close to. Another 2 in a Shaman, 1 in a Star Pact for better damage and cooldown reduction. That's gonna affect every single of my skills. And of course I'm gonna grab physique. Around 600-700 is okay for a caster during the campaign, but I don't like to take too much physique. I prefer the damage when I play casters like this, especially for the burst potential. If I play poker or spammer or channeling build, probably I'm gonna focus a little bit more on a physique during the campaign for survival ability reasons. I'm gonna nullify this guy out of his aura. We got terror. I think this is not for us. Yeah, terror is a chaos damage base relic.
Good. You've opened the sights.
Let's grab these quests. But more important, I place a rift gate next to the fort, where the battle between Caiman's Chosen and Dead's Vigil continues, and I have to take care of their guardian and take the ashes so I can revive Malkadar. Also, this place comes with a devotion point, which is essential for us. Caiman's Chosen usually hurts more than Dead's Vigil. They're basically most of them gunners and some of them are sword and board. All of them using elemental damage and physical damage as well. And they definitely hurts more. There is a secret chest here. It's not a one-shot chest, but still a nice one to have. And here is the bad guys. Be careful with them. This build clears totems pretty safe, healthy as well. It's a very good for a starting class. Don't requires high-end gear to be effective. Also, Trozan set is a very common Cataclysm set as well. Usually the current meta is using Cataclysm instead of 4-piece Trozan. But either works, it all depends what you gonna do with your endgame. You can even transit to a Storm Totem if you want and be a Ludrigan Druid, but you have to level again all of your devotions, which is gonna be very easy because you're gonna have access to the experience potions. A lot of players are not aware, but experience potions work for the devotions as well. So even if you are 100 and you have to basically pick a different build, and I have to pick all the different devotions, for example, I have to pick Spear, Tempest for the lighting builds, and I have to relevel every single one. Even being 100 and drink experience potions, that's gonna help you to basically level the new devotion tree much faster. This is something that you have to take in consideration. Doesn't matter if you're 100, you can still use experience potions to level your devotions faster. Works like a charm. Several times I pick a different starter and I have to basically reroll my whole devotion tree for a new one. These Myrmidons hurt as well, they are dual wielding, using fire skills as well. Basically there is a Grenadiers, as you can see. Basically Kaiman's Trozan can hurt you in a different ways. That makes them slightly dangerous than Dead's Video. Dead's Video usually K-Cloak, I never have a problems with them. I'm gonna clear a little bit before I open the gate. This door is always bugged for most times. This guy, be careful, he's damage ramping. I'm gonna nullify him. He's a fire user. But this stacks. Also he's a little bit more tankier than Malkadar. Just be sure you don't stay for too long on the pools. And this is one of the most interesting items in Grim Dawn. This boosts your Guardians of Empyrean in a combination with 2 other sets. Can be a very decent build. There is a treasure room. And I'm gonna go back for the devotion. I have to click this loose torch. This area is kinda rippy, especially with the right mutators. We have Vengeful, which is a bad one. And we have Poisonous, it's okay for us, there is no poison damage. We got Resilient as a basically beneficial for us, but not here. Definitely nothing that gonna save us. There is some sort of bleeding damage here, so can be slightly useful, but still not amazing. This poison damage comes from the mutator. Usually these monsters here, they don't have poison damage as a built-in. Mutator makes them to apply this to you. But most of them here, they can deal. I'm gonna kill a little bit more. Rovers is beneficial when you play cold build. We need their gloves usually if you don't manage to find something better. This guy can hurt a lot. Be extremely careful. He plays at debuffs. And also summon meteors. These ones. There is a heroes here. Not the best retreat, but I have to retreat. Corruption. Perdition. Tremor, this is a very good mace if you start playing Force Wave. And finally we got our devotion. Kinda pricey. And it's time to... I think it's time to change my relic. This one is no go anymore.
See anything you like?
Let's see what I sell. I'm gonna keep this, comes with attack. This is Vigorous of Psych, no go. Mighty of Scourging, it's another bad roll. This ring I don't need it anymore. I managed to fix my stuff. I think Arcane Lore is better for now. Usually I have to change my armor, I start to take way too much damage. So I'm gonna check what this guy sells. Usually this sells Gunslinger and that kind of talismans. Devil's Court, Focusing Prism, Rotten Heart, Silver Core Boats, Gluttony. Nothing amazing, but there is an armor piece that can work out for now. I'm gonna lose Poison Elemental Resistance in exchange. I can't afford to lose so much poison. My elemental res is overcapped by so much. I'm gonna leave these things for now. And I'm gonna jump over to check what Homestead offers as a relics. I can't play with this anymore. I need some damage or some sustain. Usually ideal I can craft Juggernaut, but I miss some stuff along the way. My belt is for change as well, but it's gonna be very hard to change this 30% poison resistance. We don't unlock Black Legion. And it's time to visit Death's Vigil. I hope for a respected, so I can switch off some gear pieces. Look for a better armor as well. They sell a cold based armors, but I'm not sure about the resistances. Now we can we are pretty close. And we need respected for the next quest. That's unfortunate. I need Devil's Court for a better proc. I need their mantle. I think I have to wait for these swaps. But at least I'm gonna craft myself Fervor. It's gonna be offensive relic until I unlock Juggernaut pieces. I miss some components to craft that. Juggernaut is I don't have a Rampage now. And I miss some materials as well. But I have everything needs for a Fervor. Two defensive ability as a completion, not bad. But the main thing about this relic is the proc anyways. It's gonna boost my damage significantly. And it's time to move forward. I think after I kill Lucius and clear all the Ethereals, that's gonna net me respected and I can swap some pieces. Probably I'm gonna give up on my Mark of the Traveler for another anti-venom salve, just to be able to change the belt. I have to change my armor because I'm gonna start taking a lot of damage, especially if I've been hit several times in the torso. This is a huge hardcore mistake, even for a veteran player like me, to walking around in a level 10 piece of gear at level 40, especially now is gonna be a very big single target hitters in the Plains of Strife. So I definitely want to change that before this. I don't wanna approach Plains of Strife with this armor piece. Of course, we start to have serious problems with our energy sustain. But I need this filler, I can't just rely on the Trozans. You can play just around Trozans, but it's kinda boring because you basically play as a kinda Blizzard Sorceress from Diablo 2. You're just waiting for a cooldown. And I prefer to have an options. Filler is quite nice when you deal with bosses as well. Especially this one, because applies my attack damage converts to health. It's not a lot, it makes just basically 20% of my Trozan's damage. But still okay. Lucius, anything special? Just be sure you don't take so much big hits, because my resistance is not very capped. You have to avoid his Trozan attack. With such a resistances can be pretty rippy. I know it's just 1%, but trust me, especially in Ultimate, 1% makes huge difference. Again, 2 points. Shaman. Actually, this ideal moment we can pick Mogdrogan's Pact for an extra energy sustain, a little bit of reduction and better life bar. It's a good trade for 2 points. Which reminds me, I have to bring my resistance shred finally. Here is quite dangerous on such a low life build. Be careful with the mines. You're gonna see them. You don't have to avoid every single one, but at least few. This is gonna do for now. I'm gonna make this swap. It's not amazing armor, but I do it mainly for the armor piece. That's gonna make me a slightly tankier, because this level 10 piece of gear is not okay. There is no poison damage ahead, so I'm gonna be fine with 6% off. I can fix that later. I'm going here for a few more kills because I need that respected to take my belt. One to Arcanist belt's gonna give me a huge boost because I play Arcanist as a main, Shaman as a secondary. Our clear speed's pretty good. I'm gonna nullify this guy so I can one-shot him. And I'm gonna bring the quest back. Few sips of coffee for the boost.
Good work down. Good work. We cannot.
Let's sell the useless stuff.
Put it to good use.
And I'm not sure if Outcast have a good pieces for us. They are kinda useless because I'm gonna jump to ultimate after normal. Actually after Act 1 Elite. I like to do Act 1 Elite. And on this build it's completely necessary because I need upgrades for the MIs. And until I reach 4th Alcan, probably at ultimate, I'm gonna be pretty well geared and I'm not gonna need anything from this guy. So definitely nothing interesting. I'm gonna just kill her. Black Legion's reputation is more important. She drops caster puns. Some of them okay. This one not terrible. It's a cleric's frostbite. That actually is a pretty good roll for us because my main problem is undeads and I have extra damage to them with this roll. And a frostbite's gonna put some damage as well. But in general, the pun's pretty bad. Implicit, it's not very good. Even this bad roll, just implicits are enough to keep them. Let's deal with the cultists. It's a pretty easy quest. And I prefer Black's Legion reputation. One seal of binding is another one. That's probably my luckiest run ever. Usually it takes me so long. But this is the best place to farm tonic seals. Just my chaos resistance quite bad, that's why I take so much damage. I am ready with the quest, but I still prefer to clear here. Extra bindings is never a bad thing. I'm gonna need it for several crafts. That's enough. I take 4 or 5. It's a pretty good find. We got respected.
I'll see what's left of my wares.
So this is for level 50. Fortitude. We need Oleron's blood.
See anything you like. Put it to good use.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
And it's time to finish this act. As I explained, I like to stick with the east part. We got respected with Dead's video. I'm gonna grab my belt.
Come see what's left of my wares.
So Dead's court. And I'm gonna buy this for now, but I'm gonna lose a lot of chaos resistance, which I can't afford right now.
What brings you to my forge? If you find it,
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left. Iron well spent.
I have to find which one sells blessed steel. I think rovers. Definitely rovers. This belt's kinda pricey.
See anything you like. See you around.
It's not rovers. That's very strange.
Come see what's left of my wares. Put it to good use.
It's actually Dead's video and Kaiman's. I waste like 3 minutes.
What brings you to my forge?
That's very pricey. I'm gonna do one attempt. I hope for a good belt. Because this is way too pricey. It's at 3 crystals per attempt. Wanderer actually is a pet prefix. I have to try once more. Let's make 2 attempts. I'm gonna leave some crystals. Actually 6 crystals, because Blessed Steel needs another 3. That's very pricey for a belt. Especially when I'm completely broke. Half mending is okay. Half the fox, not so good. I'm gonna take off mending. And basically I have to switch some components. Not amazing, but if things very bad I can use ointment. But Arcanist belt gives me more than my current belt. And I'm pretty sure usually poison resistance is not that bad if it's especially normal. I'm still plus 60, which is okay. Triple rare A. And this immediately put my damage on a better side. We're gonna pick some crystals. Definitely I'm gonna take care of this totem. We need Hound Relic and this gonna start dropping now. I'm gonna nullify this guy. Glyph of the Winter Fox. No, this is a disengage skill. I don't like it. Another 2 in Shaman, 1 in Star Pact. I'm gonna track back here. This is a very easy shrine. Usually just this hero. That's gonna give me even more elemental resistance, which I already put them in a very high. So basically I don't have to worry about them at least at ultimate. I'm gonna use Nullify here, just to remove this guy's auras. And I can backtrack for my next devotion point, which gonna give me more elemental damage. I'm gonna stick to the objectives. I'm gonna nullify this guy. Let's remove the auras of this fella, so he can die quite quick. We got Rampage, which immediately means I got a chance to craft Juggernaut. But remember, if you don't play like me, you can try to craft it immediately during the leveling. It's just the best leveling relic in the game. That puts my chaos resistance finally on a good spot. Next step is to close the first 6 quests of that video. I finally can resurrect Malkadar. And he's gonna appear next to the Necropolis Rift. This Soul Keeper is gonna start the ritual. There is a one hero and one boss here. And the boss is basically that mage we killed at the Ether area at Bloodgrove. I forgot her name, sorry. Here is the hero. I'm gonna save the nullification for her. She's somehow dangerous. And that's her, Noveria, Stormfire. She uses similar thunder mechanic like Alchemist, the boss from Steps of Torment. This is the 6th quest. And the last quest is basically finding Uruburg, but this gonna unlock in Ownard. And as you can see, he is here.
The cult of it appears that the rich
This is the first card. There is a one-shot chest here. I think I never found something useful from these one-shot chests. Maybe it's just my experience, but it's mostly stuff for different builds instead of my current one. I'm gonna nullify myself. This debuff's kinda rippy. There is a 4 or 5 Harbingers, one of them hero. We remove the barrier. It's time to stop Loghoren. Here the best thing is there is a guaranteed totem and guaranteed devotion shrine. Another 2 shaman. Star Pact. At some point we have to hunt for a Fallen Skies suffix or a more Trozans. There is the mini boss. He's not so dangerous. He's a poison based. And even with my bad resistances, I can survive pretty easily. That's... we can start our next core devotion. That's Mistress of Rumors, or like most of the players call her, Murmur, or just Rumor, because the proc is Rumor. But this is a very nice proc, comes with cold resistance shred, poison resistance shred, which is nothing to deal with us, and offensive ability shred as well. We have to grab this one immediately. This guy is elemental damage based, so I'm gonna nullify him and basically one-shot him. Try to aim your Trozans for the big mobs first. You can finish off the small ones with your filler. Loot Lord Talonis. He can be dangerous. He plays a resistance shred, basically Curse of Frailty. You can either debuff yourself or just save some distance. Usually Trozan Sky Shard is a very good boss killer. Herald's Jacket actually is what I'm looking for in terms of resistances. I'm gonna make this switch for now. I have to change the component really quick. I don't benefit much from this armor, but at least resistance is quite good. It's a full defensive armor. But usually the set is not that bad. It's an okay. But I don't think I can fully equip that because of the my weapon slot is restricted. Let's deal with this guy. Damage is quite high. I'm gonna dodge the thunders. I can score some damage. I'm gonna take care of the big guys. I'm gonna move a little bit. I don't want to take so much hits. That's okay. I'm gonna thunder. I'm gonna remove the thunder. I'm gonna avoid the pulse. Gonna avoid the thunder. And as you can see, very easy fight. Nothing scary at all. I'm gonna get this just for the selling purposes. Terrible loot, but that's okay. I'm not here for the loot anyways. I can focus on my faction gear and stuff.
You've returned. So our great
Fate Weaver Mantle. This is actually a it's okay. Level 50. I can keep it. It comes from with some nice stuff, especially circuit breaker.
See anything you like?
Can saves my life during ultimate probably. This medal is kinda better because comes with better stats and stern resistance duration, which I think desperately need. I'm gonna lose some chaos resistance from that, but
good, you're back. You have a mo Good, you're back. I struggle to admit. You see the Luminari long
Excuse me, my father and I were part. See anything you like?
I think we can get rid of this finally. We're not gonna need it. This helm is a situational, so I'm gonna keep it for now. Just in case. This is no go. We have to farm better funds, and definitely we have to change one of the. I think it's time for this one to go. Let's check. Definitely. And I can use my Starfire, but even if you don't, just waiting for a. There is a couple nice rings later on, especially faction ones. But this just gonna work better for me for now. It's extra damage and a nice proc. And basically this is everything for now. Next episode we're gonna start with some improvements as well on the gear side. For now we're doing pretty well, I think. No, I don't have any panic moments. I think the worst that I got is half of my bar, which for a caster type of a build, it's not even close to worse. I'm gonna change some stuff here and there in the next episode for a better sustained damage as well. But for now, this is the end of this episode. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in the next one.